So today we're going to do a few baseline measures. So we're going to take your muscle mass, your body fat. This will be important when you're going down in weight to make sure that you're maintaining as much muscle mass as you can. And then we're going to see your jump height, which is important for boxing because we need to produce a lot of force through our lower body. Yeah. So we're going to test your jump height. And then we're going to test your punch power using a 3 kilo medicine ball. And then we're going to introduce you to some of the movement and mobility drills and strength work that you're going to be doing following that program. All right. .181.8.
So Mike, just Tyson that.
This tests your body fat, muscle mass, but seeing where that's distributed as well. So when you're going down in weight, we want to make sure that we maintain as much muscle mass as we can, but trying to maintain that in as trunk and in our lower body, because we've found, because that has the biggest contributor to punching force. We don't want to have it too much for upper body, because obviously if you're carrying that, too tight, that's where people get the thing about like weights making you slow when they get that upper body bulk. What we want to try and do is try and maintain his muscle mass in his core, in his lower body, because that has the biggest contribution to punching power. Starter, you'd be looking at trying to
get to 91 first.
Because at the minute you're heavier than like heavyweights that we've got. So what we've got here, we've got skeletal muscle mass, which is high. So you've got a good like kind of foundation there. Body fat is high at the minute. It's 33% body fat. You want to be around for a heavyweight boxer. You want to be around about 20% body fat. So that's probably what our target should be in 10-20 weeks or so. In 10 weeks' time, come back. Let's have a look at your weight. That wants to be about 110 kilos. So,
cool.
Positive thing, trunk mass is quite high. Like we said, that's our biggest physical contributor to punch, based on kind of like rotation and how that transfers from your lower body. So that's really good. So if we can try and maintain that whilst we're losing weight, pound for pound, that's going to transfer to boxing.
Cool.
This is a movement handbook, and this is really important because, especially when we're in a calorie deficit, we're prone to injuries. Okay, so if we've got high training loads in a calorie deficit, it's more likely that we're going to get injured. So it's important that we look after our body. So we do movement and mobility training, and in here we've got like a few little bits of information of what's quite common in boxing. So we've found that most boxers have tight hips, tight shoulders, and relatively poor upper body rotation, which is all important for boxing. I suggest that you do this in your warm-ups for every single session. So we're going to take you through this as your main warm-up now. So first exercise that we're going to do is the eagles. So if you bring your knee as close to the floor as you can, arm goes over there, good, and then pull it back over, and then straighten out like that. Perfect. Nice, good. Back again. So you should feel this in your shoulder and your chest even more now. Lift up your hips by squeezing your glutes as much as you can. Good. Go all the way down, lower back against the floor. Good. That's 8%, and then back down. Good. There, up, bang, and you're gonna come down, elbows tucked in, and then after, you're just gonna reach for your torso. Down, reach for your torso. Nice. Foot's going to come right by your hand. You're going to twist round and then reach as far as you can, keeping that lower body nice and stable. Shoulders back and down, feet shoulder width apart. We're going to sit into the squat, push out as we go down, push your knees out and come back up. So where your knee is just off the floor, just behind your hip there, and then rotating, nice straight posture. Good. Press the weight out, go to the side, okay? But it's not a Sunday league football stretch where we're just nice and up. What we want to do is try and dip your hips back, this leg straight, It's straight, this knee bends, and push out the way as we go down. Nice. This next test is count movement jump test. You're going to swing your arms back, dip down, bend your knees, and then you're going to jump up and reach as high as you can. 32 there. So we do two different jump tests. We do a count movement jump and the squat jump. So the squat jump is where we start from dead start. So you're starting from the bottom, hips just above your knees, and then you jump up. So the reason why we use this is because they're testing two different kind of like properties of how you produce force. Right. So are you short and explosive, or does it take you a little bit longer and you're stronger than you are more explosive? So count movement jump that kind of uses your muscles more than a squat jump does. Right. Okay. Dip down, hold, and go. That went up. Oh, about 29 that. So we look at the count movement jump test, and we've got a range of scores here, Z scores, so from 1 to 5, which is poor to excellent. And this is based off our database of, we've tested over 500 athletes now, from junior school boys and school girls all the way through to world champions. So we'll put you in the senior category, we won't put you in the elite, because then we're comparing you with people like Anthony Fowler and everything like that. So you've got 43 centimetres, which is good. Right. Okay, so you've got a good amount of power. What we need to do within the next 10 weeks and going forward when you're losing the weight is try and maintain that. Right. Because pound for pound, you want to be more stronger and explosive as well. Right. That's what the strength training will give you. So you scored 44 centimetres on your squat jump. Again, it's in the good category. Okay? It's all going swimmingly, a lot of positives. Yeah. I'm going to switch it around now. You're supposed to jump higher in your count movement jump than in your squat jump. Right. And you've got it the other way around. So unfortunately on that, you've scored poor, because you scored -1. So what we need to focus on is like landing mechanics and basically getting stronger at squatting and getting stronger legs. So this is our punch power test. Sometimes we use a landmine punch test, which gives us accurate feedback, but we know that a lot of people haven't got access to that at home. What they have got access to is a medicine ball and a tape measure, and basically throw it as far as you can within a punching stance. 10.1. 10.1 on your right, 9.4 on your left. Yeah. We're comparing you with senior. Yeah. 9 to 10.5. That's average. Yeah.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
So pretty good. Again, whilst you're coming down in weight, try and maintain that, try and improve that. Right. Pound for pound punching force will go up. If we can push you up from an average to good, that'll be quality. This test is our movement and mobility assessment, which is overhead squat. Now there's lots of different trainers and physios that'll do massive movement screen, but again we're thinking about what's going to be accessible in different gyms, and a lot of tests are down to kind of subjectiveness as well. So if we can have one test that can cover it all, would be the overhead squat. Right. As it tells you a lot about your shoulder mobility, hip and hamstring mobility as well, your core strength, and then imbalances between left and right. So you're going to grab this broomstick, you're going to have it on your head, arms at 90 degrees, arms above your head, your feet just wider than hip width apart. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to take a picture of you from the front, picture of you from the side, and I'm going to give you a bit of analysis after. Squat down, back up. Shoulder mobility looks quite good, to be fair, keeping your arms above your head. Squat depth look quite good. What I would say is that rolling in onto inside your heels, and your knees were coming forward a little bit too much. Forward. Yeah, coming forward.
So I'm not sitting on my heels enough.
No. Right. So what you want to do is to try and stretch off your hip flexors. Yeah. You can do that in doing that stuff like Spidermans and everything like that. Yeah. Strengthen up your glutes, So you're doing glute bridges and doing the banded side climbs that you found quite difficult as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And then with your heels coming in, that's showing that you're quite tight in your adductors.
Right.
So your adductors are your groin muscles.
Yeah, yeah.
So when we're doing our Sunday League football stretches, and you find it quite difficult to get that depth and get that range, that's probably because of that. Everything that you've shown today is quite in terms of strength in your jumps, in your punches, and then in your movement training as well. It's quite familiar with a lot of boxers.
Right.
A lot of boxers look the same. Even your difference between squat jump and counter movement jump. There's a lot of boxers that are able to jump a lot higher on the squat jump, or have a little difference between squat jump and counter movement jump, because they just haven't had that exposure to maximal strength training. And if they've done strength and conditioning before, they've done circuits or lighter weights, and trying to avoid that like kind of heavy weights, especially from being young. So when they've got all these like kind of physical traits from traditional boxing training, you know, all this what we're doing now is all research based, all evidence based training methods. So you get the most out of training camp.
Yeah.
So hopefully in 10 weeks time we'll be seeing better.
At least on that punch power.
So your goals are to move from average to good.
Yeah.
Going from good to excellent on your jumps. Let's make that difference. Let's get that kind of movement jump higher, and then with your body fat and your weight, let's try and get down to 115, 110 kilos, somewhere between that, and that's showing like kind of healthy weight loss. We've also got like different handbooks. We've got a nutrition handbook that'll give you a little bit more information. So I've got some diet plans here. Right. So not to starve yourself. We've got 50 to 60 kilo athletes. We're not going to be on that. You've got your 80 to 90 kilo athletes here. So you want to be hitting about like 500 to 800 calorie deficit per day. There's 3 different phases. So we've got phase 1, build your foundations. Phase 2, build your strength. And then you've got phase 3, taper for your fight. Right. Okay. So for the first 10 weeks, obviously all we're doing is getting fit, getting in shape. We're going to be building the foundations, building our strength. So we've got 2 different ways that you can use the program. We've got a personal example there. We've got the pictures along with the sets and reps.
You do, yeah.
And basically what you do is fill in your weights there. So let's say if you're lifting 20 kilos on there, log down your weights.
Drop my weight by the last set then.
Yeah. So you write in there.
So basically, if I just do phase 1 until I next year, because there's only 5 weeks on that, isn't there?
Yeah.
So if I'm going to only see you in 10 weeks, so I do phase 1, then do phase 2.
Yeah.
So I would have done phase 2 by the time I see you guys. Right.
Yeah. In terms of like the conditioning, I'll just set you some kind of low intensity.
For like cardio and stuff like that. Yeah.
Stuff to do,
So just wait until I've got most of the weight off and then start upping the intensity.
Yeah. Because if you start running now and you're a little bit overweight, you're going to end up getting injured.
Well, I started doing that at first. I was running, and like my shins, ankles, like knees, I was like too heavy to be doing that. So
like doing the strength training, ability training, that's preparing you ready to do the running and everything like that. So what you need to do in this first block, focus on the strength stuff,
get the weight off,
focus on nutrition, get the weight off, and do like cardio, like kind of low intensity. Then we'll see where you're at in 10 weeks and then push you on.
Cool, mate.
Right guys, on the way home now from Sheffield Uni, when we went to see Wilson Boxing Science. Bit of an eye-opener, made me realise how much work I've got to do. Probably a lot of work for the Wilson Boxing Science lads as well, because they probably don't see lads as unfit as I am. So I've got all the information there, they've laid it all out for me. Danny showed me all of the exercises, all the movements, explained everything thoroughly to me. I've done all my tests, and I've got my goal. I'm 125 kilo at the minute. He wants me at 110 by the next time he sees me. So good to have a goal to work towards, and I just really want to go back and just smash all them tests next time when we re-evaluate everything. So that's going to spur me on a bit of a competitive edge, like. So on top of that, we ran into Anthony Fowler. As I mentioned earlier, him and Jordan Gill are there. They've also worked with the likes of Kell Brook, etc. Fowler's looking on point, in shape, major shape. for his fight with Fitzgerald. So expecting an emphatic Fowler win there. I'm in good hands. I couldn't be in any better hands really. If you look at some of the top guys in the division, especially some of the top guys in British boxing in general, who look like they're massive at the weight. So your Kell Brooks, who've been with Wilson Boxing Science, Jordan Gill, Fowler, just look like monsters at the weight. That's all down to the science and the sort of expertise that goes into their strength and conditioning and their diet over at Wilson Boxing Science. I think if it wasn't for them guys, they probably wouldn't be able to look so fit and strong and massive at those weights. So there's not many better people I could be with, so really grateful for the opportunity and that I get to work with them, and yeah, just looking forward to absolutely smashing it. So I'll take you along step by step of all of the exercises I'm doing, everything a bit more in depth. Just need to sort of read all my booklets and digest the information a little bit more myself, but yeah, apart from that, I'll see you in the next one, and I'll take you through a few bits and bobs. Cheers guys, see you in a bit.
Firelight.